Module 4, Unit 5, Using Mobile Devices. So in this unit, our discussion is about IT systems actually in this course, and we are under module where we are covering how to use mobile devices in a sense in IT system, not in a sense that on a basic perspective na how to use basically actually when it comes to mobile devices, generations nowadays like you, mga present generation are more acquainted sa paggamit ng mobile devices, right? Parents like us are sometimes we depend on kids, no, on our kids. So this is more on about using mobile devices in IT. So we will identify the key features of different types of mobile devices and mobile operating systems. As you may be already aware, maraming mobile devices and they come also with different operating systems. And then mobile devices that to configure the network and email, that both of these are familiar na kayo masyado, but when it comes to IT systems we will see and you will be able to realize there are things that still need to know, especially in data transfer settings in or on mobile devices. So using a mobile device generally on personal use, even me, I strongly believe na alam niya yan. Kids nowadays, as I've said, mas acquainted, no? They know pasikot-sikot. They use it every day. In fact, we are also dependent, di ba? So when it comes to, in general, let's start with general discussion, di ba? Just gesture-based interaction, di ba? We all know, no? These are the common gesture that when we use a mobile device, diba? We tap and hold, swiping, pinching. Meron na nga yung bump, diba, na in data transfer. You don't have to send intentionally na you use a Bluetooth and so on. Sa iPhone, you just put them on top of together, on top of each other, or being close, magta-transfer na. So, yun ang mga gesture, ito ang common and in general. But for as technology evolves, marami na rin ibang features that we discover, di ba? Or being introduced, lalo sa mga bagong model. And then sa screen, kinetics, sa screen orientation, we are all familiar, no? Di ba? Na may mga pag nag-rotate, the screen is rotate. When we rotate the unit, the screen itself, di ba? Automatic, or if you don't want to, you can change all of those. And these are being used as well yung sa kinetics, yung when it comes to, in accelerometers, like even you are changing on a different elevation or changing direction, or if you rotate or the phone, no, hindi na babago ang screen orientation. And then mga speech recognition, I don't know if we are using this more often, but matagal ng features ito, even the early days of mobile phones, hindi pa mga smartphones, no? And the mobile device we are talking here is mostly mga smartphones na. Actually, they are smartphones because they are run by operating systems and with the hardware similar to computer. Now, as you maybe already know, diba, this feature, I don't know if you use this, or I don't know if all of you are aware, meron mga passcode locks in general, diba, to protect the information stored on your device or to prevent from illegal access. Meron din tinatawag na PIN. It's either you enter the PIN codes o may pattern code, di ba? Yung sinuswipe na pa triangle, pa letter L or something, or biometric. Like for example, yung fingerprint scanning sa camera o sa front or sa harap, o kaya yung face recognition or face ID na tawag. Before I was so reluctant to use biometrics, but maybe as you grow as you grow older or you get used to, instead of typing the pins na marami ka ng binago, if you tend to forget, you rely na on biometrics. And then may mga lockout policy, di ba, na sometimes it deletes the data pag illegally accessed, no? And then pag when you are you lost a phone, no one will be able to open, or I mean, even the government, has no power when it comes to privacy. They cannot, they cannot tell or dictate the phone authority or phone companies like iPhone and Samsung na, if for example, even in crime scene na sabi ni i-open, they will not allow it because they will be sued about privacy. And I've seen that personally sa mga news, no? And then they're trying to access or a phone and then they're to use it as an evidence. But if they I mean they're asking for the phone companies to break the code, and they refuse to do so dahil malakas ang privacy act, even lalo na pag buhay pa yung may-ari ng phone, di ba? And then remote wiping of data and settings, may mga restrictions din yan. Only the owner itself who knows, even local or remote access, may mga option na ganon. Maybe sa BlackBerry but not on phone. I never I never tried it. But this kind of features is, it's not a surprise. It's possible in any way. Anything you can do actually sa computer, it's similar to the smart devices or mobile devices. So, when it comes to device encryption, meron din yan sa mga mobile devices. By the way, when we say mobile devices, we're not only referring to smartphones, we also include, try to also consider yung tablets as well, di ba? Now, in device encryption, these are, by default, the key is stored locally. Even if it is stored locally, as I've said earlier, only the owner of the device can use the keys to encrypt the information. Yung mga owners yan are not allowed. Even they can do so, but they are, because of Privacy Act. Malakas ang Privacy Act. Kung meron Privacy Act dito sa Pilipinas, let's get aware of it. Let's get aware of it. Kung wala, it's good to know na we should have one. It's important. And then, meron na akong, narinig nyo na ba yung jailbreak? Ito yung, parang ina-unlock ang phone from being ginagawang open device. Kasi when we say jailbreak, magiging open yung device. You can use any SIM card, for example, na, di ba? So, jailbreak is the term I heard, lalo na sa mga iPhone devices. And yung data protection option is an option that anyone can use to encrypt the data using a passcode derived key. So when you are decrypting it, it's the same passcode that you used ang makakapag-decrypt nun. Even in Android devices, mobile or tablets, may mga this encryption available. So it's a good practice na lalo na pag ang tablet in company or organizations na may mga encryption, and IT people used to do this. And if they are not, or if the policy is not in place, it is worth mentioning. And there are reasons why why it is not being being utilized, but it is highly recommended. Of course, may mga encryption, but the key on this topic is that encryption, the concept of encryption sa mga typical computers, desktops, is also the same encryption concept when it comes to mobile devices. Now, yung full device encryption is either you can do it through an app you can download, and then you can use that for device encryption. And there are apps that are, of course, platform specific, not the same app that you can use na ginamit mo sa iOS and gagamitin mo rin sa Android phones. And may mga software development kit at yung mga di ba, software tools na to create an app. So full device encryption for iOS, meron yan. Mac development workstation is required. And then sa Android naman, yung mga developer tools ini-install sa mga workstation, sa computer. Yung mga yung mga programming tools, mga development tools to create an app for device encryption. When it comes to storage, Apple, they have their own Apple Cloud actually kapag gagawa ka ng backup or ano, 'di ba, storage. Apple they have their own, and no other ano third party. And yung Android, the only ano Android system na they allow third party, which makes sense because Android is based on software na open source. And yung sandbox, no, ito yung mga kailangan na request. And these are apps that you need to, ano, ito yung mga apps na when you install or when you open it, and it will tell you na whether to grant full access to your contact information or to your pictures. Before, it doesn't have like that. So maybe, but I haven't heard, meron sigurong policy, lalo sa privacy, na expand na you need, I mean, phone vendors, even apps should ask permission or should need to have confirmation na pwedeng i-access ang ano ang data, because nowadays it's getting more complicated because everyone is in the information age is actually dependent lalo sa mga confidential and private information. So for example, in this case, you can see dito sa ano Android, no, Android app, there are apps na specific only for Android apps, even for encryption, and then it's the same app that you can see on desktop apps that you download on Windows. Lalo na for software development kit, di na download sa mga Apple Store yan or Market Store. Now, let's talk about network connectivity na you are all aware na how to connect your mobile phones. Ito nga una nating hinahanap, unang-unang ginagawa pag when we enter what is this? A mall, di ba? O public place. We look for Wi-Fi. We scan the place, no? Asan ba mga free Wi-Fi dito? And to go there, you all know na you go to the settings and, di ba, Wi-Fi, and then you enable it, and then mag-i-scan yung phone nyo kung ano yung mga available, ano, Wi-Fi access points. And even on the same settings, may mga other means to for access from Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, di ba? And even ang infrared. And then, kung nagkasakay na kayo ng aircraft, it is always, it is always, tawag dito, a policy na i-switch to airplane mode. Airplane mode, in a sense, dinidisable itong mga network connectivity during airplane mode kasi it's possible it may create a interference sa navigation system. So before hindi pa hindi pa pini-post talaga strictly. Ngayon talagang they always say it. May regulations na, there's a tendency na you can be penalized. Now, email configuration. Again, as I've said, many of you are already aware of this. Maybe you are aware na how to use each email na yung mga phone, may mga pre-configured app na yan na you can use to access your Yahoo, your Google, or Exchange, or even your may AOL pa, no? But even an Outlook. An Outlook na actually is an email interface that you can create an account from Google itself and Yahoo. So yung mga configuration dito are manual na you have to enter your, di ba? If you remember it, right? You have to enter your email account. And then may mga protocol, the same protocol that you will see on the email configuration sa workstation, IMAP and POP server, POP, and then the same protocol for exchange like SMTP, and then security, SSL, and then TLS are the same stuff that we use on mobile devices. Ito yung mga security protocol. You should know this by now as we discussed this from the previous module, diba? Previous units, ito mga protocol na to. So the same configuration, only that the same protocol, only that the configuration is most of the time is manual. It makes sense because it's not part of the domain, lalo na kung business email. And then typically, sa Google and Yahoo, all you have to do is enter your email and password. But if you use Outlook, it will ask you for this. And if your email, Yahoo, or Google is not working on automatic, so you have to check the settings, and then you have to think about the the configuration settings from mail list server protocols to exchange server protocol and security protocol. So, meron ding synchronization data. Do you back up your data sa phone? Or I'm still old school actually, and I always back up my phones, or even the Android phones sa laptop and external drive. I don't before I just recently subscribed sa mga cloud storage, no, kasi it sometimes it's more convenient to do it on a cloud backup. Automatic, lalo na pag naka-automatic backup ang phone mo. So in synchronization and data transfer, if you do it on a laptop, you need to have a software. For sa Apple devices, you need the iTunes. And then ang kinaganda sa mga Android phone, it's all you have to do is plug it, and then you can access your phone like an external drive, an additional drive, and you can just paste and copy. Madali sa mga Android phone, di ba? You just use the USB connection. So Windows, unlike sa Apple device, the only phone na I'm aware na you have to use iTunes, and sometimes it's very easy to use if you're used to it, but for first timers, and sometimes kahit naman matagal ng user, maybe it's me, but hindi as easy as no mga Android phones when it comes to synchronization and data transfer to your Windows. That's why I gave up doing this recently, and I do automatic backup na lang. But anyway, the USB connection for Windows, just to let you know, is Picture Transfer Protocol and MTP, which is Media Transfer Protocol. So it might be asked kung kukuha kayo ng certification. It might be asked in the exam. So remote backup can be done as well at mga cloud-based backup, as I was saying earlier, and you have to subscribe. Meron mga minimum na libre, but you will be reminded automatically na your backup is not sufficient, and then they will recommend for subscription to increase the size. So sa Apple, it's Apple iCloud, no other than as a cloud-based backup. And then Google Cloud, you can do it not only on Android phones, not only on Google phones, but even on iPhones. It's an app. You have to download the app, and you can do that. And Microsoft OneDrive, this just like Google Drive, these are vendor now for cloud-based backup na yung OneDrive na ginagamit natin sa computer, it's the same OneDrive that you download and use sa mga mobile devices, so as the Dropbox. So in this unit, we cover the key features of different types of mobile devices and mobile operating systems, and we cover the topic as much as IT is related. And then we also discuss network configuration, different data connectivity, and even synchronization. We covered that. We discuss also the email, which majority of these that are already familiar to you, including data transfer settings on mobile devices. So I hope this has been informative to you. Thank you, and see you in the next unit.